Lisa Gallery says she's no horse whisperer, but you'd be hard-pressed to find someone else who has such keen communication with our equine friends. To learn more about these special relationships, I found myself saddling up to learn from Lisa.
Everybody talks about whisperers, but I don't think it's about whispering. I think it's about listening. That if you're quiet and you're listening to the horse, then they're going to give you that in return, and they're going to listen to you as well. So like right now, this little mare is kind of looking everywhere but at me. And she knows I'm here, but I'm not her focus. I'm gonna try and just like move her feet a little bit and get her to focus back on me. Get her to think. So she's gotta tune in a little harder and figure out what I'm asking. That's not it. I do feel a kinship with the horses, an understanding with them, an ability to communicate with them. That they're listening to what kind of little subtle hints from you, and they'll take those cues when you're on their back too. I'm not one of the big trainers. I've got a small facility. You know, I don't have the fancy indoor arenas, all those things. I've got to work around the weather and just have a small 4-horse barn. But for my horses, I like them to be outside. They may be in a 2-acre pasture or a 100 by 200 pen. I just think it's better for them mentally to be there, and then I'm going to be able to accomplish more with them. They're going to be happier as a performance horse, being able to live more like a horse and stay outside. So we're just going to be doing mostly a little bit of dry work, just kind of keeping her focused, keeping her slow, because she is such a hot little mare that keeping her mind quiet and not anticipating, like she tries too hard. That's her biggest problem. She's like, what do you want next? What do you want next? And just trust that I'm going to tell her what I want in a timely fashion so we can get our jobs done. You know, somebody that's, got a young horse that's not been started, maybe looking for a trainer just to help them get them started under saddle. Because for most trainers, most horsemen, you don't get a second chance at that first 30 days. And they can learn so much, whether it's good or bad, with that initial experience that they have. You have to have a certain amount of tenacity in order to deal with them. Because horses are kind of like toddlers, I guess. They're going to push the limits. They want to see, like, can I get away with this today? Can I get away with this today? If not, okay, well, how about if I try this for you? And so if you don't kind of set the boundaries, again, just like kids, then they're going to be like, oh, well, I got away with that yesterday. I think I'm going to up my game a little bit today. It's really fun to take a horse that hasn't been started, that's not broke, because they make such huge strides so quickly, and you can just feel the progress. I know me, a lot of the trainers that I know and look up to, like you're always learning. There's always something else you can learn. Each different horse teaches you something new. You never know it all. It's like when you're training them especially, it's like you're a puppeteer. And so your reins, your seat, your legs are all the strings to the puppet. And so you've got to control to a point, but that's how you're asking the horse to move. Mm-hmm. So if you think about where you want that horse to go, mm-hmm. like as a trainer, we tend to get focused on, I'm looking down at my horse, I'm seeing what his face is doing, what's going on. But as a rider, when you're out there competing, whether you're in an arena or whether you're out on trail, you want to be looking where you want to go. Okay. And thinking about that. And because then your horse is going to read your body language and feel that. So as you go forward, just watch to where you want to go. Okay. Like focus, come around that end, and then focus all the way up there on the fence and just ride straight to it. That's it. Use your hands and your legs, just like those puppet strings. There you go.
How'd you get into riding horses?
Well, I grew up actually in Tulsa, so I was actually a city kid. But my brother, I'm a much younger child than most of my siblings. And so my brother has a large ranch up just north of Bartlesville. You know, I can remember just always kind of being outdoors. And so it was a lot of long, hard work. But, you know, when you're a kid, you have no idea of what's hot and what's cold, what's work, what isn't. All the cowboys I got to know up there. And so they would have a horse that was, oh, maybe not the greatest. I mean, they wouldn't get me in trouble, but they'd give me a horse that was a little bit of trouble and have me ride it because I wouldn't care what I was on. And so that's where I just, you know, started figuring out how to work with the horses and listen to them. And it was probably, I guess I was about 20 when I got my next horse then. But she and I just clicked. But that's where I really kind of fell in love with and started trail riding more, got into competitive trail riding probably 3 or 4 years after that, I guess. 94 was my first competitive trail ride, so. It's pretty much what it sounds like. There's a group of volunteers that go out and they'll lay a trail out for us. You know, it might be a park like here at the Cherokee Nation Park. They're kind of all over, really, the United States. But it's all laid out outdoors, it's all natural. You know, I think as Cherokee, that connection with nature, that stewardship of the land, I think that definitely is just deep-seated. And that all just plays into it. A huge piece of my life right now, too, is as a veterinary nurse. And I think that comes back into that same stewardship to care for the animals. And that's with the opportunity I have at the teaching hospital, still goes back to that stewardship for that next generation of veterinarians, that I can instill the knowledge that I've gained over my career and send them out as better veterinarians. Again, there's a lot of grace in these creatures to allow us to do what we do, but once you get them and you get them in line, it's just such a partnership. You know, they'll give you everything they've got.